What's up, guys? Welcome to Wide World Friends English, and today we're doing something a little bit different.
Yes, we're going to talk about nouns and adjectives of shopping that came from phrasal verbs.
Right, so it's a little bit different than we normally do. Normally we're talking about phrasal verbs, and then we say, hey, this is also a noun, by the way. Well, we've compiled quite the list of these, so here's a video all about that.
Yeah, we're going to go through about 21 of these today, talking about some words that be really useful for you as you go out and shop.
Josh and I are not big fans of shopping, but these are words that we even still use. So these are something that's just super common in our culture. It's really helpful to understand. And this is going to be part 1 of 2 videos because there's just so many phrasal verbs that became nouns and adjectives in shopping.
So today we're going to talk about some of the pricing and some of the sale adjectives and nouns that you might find. So here we go.
So in prices, the first one we're going to talk about is rollback. So honestly, this one is something that I only hear from Walmart.
Yeah, rollback prices.
Yeah, rollback prices is one of their big things. They use as an adjective usually, but you can also say it was a rollback. It means the prices have come back, but it's one of those things that's like such a Walmart thing that we're just not accustomed to seeing it or hearing it anywhere else.
So kind of like rollback, you can also say marked down. Like it was on markdown, meaning that the price was reduced.
It was marked down, which is the phrasal verb.
But you can say it is a marked down item or a marked down item.
So the next one is an upsale, which is something that happens all the time when you're shopping online. But basically, you're about to finish your purchase. You've said, I'm going to buy this. It's in your cart. You're putting in your payment information. And they say, but wait, you can get this other thing at a heavily discounted price if you just buy it. That's called an upsale or an upsell.
Along those same lines, you have an add-on. And an add-on is something that kind of goes along with an item that you're already purchasing, something that kind of goes with it. So for example, if you're purchasing a camera, then an extra battery can be an example of an add-on.
Yes, so these can be namely accessories.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about prices themselves, we might say something like jacked up prices or a markup. And what that means is like just store-wide, maybe there's a markup, which all the prices have to raise, or maybe there's a markup on certain items.
Yeah.
But there might also be like jacked up prices, which is something very informal to say. Like, I'm so frustrated that all the prices in this store are so jacked up.
Yeah.
And that can be messed up, which you might have caught from an older video we've done, but it can also mean like the prices are literally like it comes from a car jack to lift the car, so that's jacked up in increments to be more expensive. So we would say from the fall through to Christmas in America, prices tend to get slowly jacked up for the holiday season. So.
Yeah. A lot of times how sales work, they slowly jack it up and then drop it for a sale. But still, the profit is about the same because they're not going to lose money when they sell something.
Right. We also have something in America called layaway, which not all stores offer this, but this is something where maybe it's a large item that takes a lot of money and maybe they don't offer a payment plan, but maybe they do offer to keep it for you behind the counter or off the sales shelves so that you can pay for it all at once when you get the money. And maybe this is 2 weeks, maybe it's a month, maybe 6 months, but we would call this layaway.
Normally, in order to do this, you have to pay a certain amount in a deposit to say, hey, I'm serious about coming back and buying this. Here's some money, and I'll come back later when I have the rest.
Yeah. Otherwise, layaway would be full and not much would leave it.
Yeah. Another term is a buyback, which is when you sell the product, sell the item back to its original owner.
Like it was theirs. Maybe it was compensated by the bank, like a car or some furniture item in the house in order to pay off a loan. And then when it was on sale for an estate sale or for an auction, they're able to buy it back. So it becomes a buyback.
So the next one is very similar to that, which is trade-in.
A trade-in often happens with cars. You can do it with other things like lawnmowers and tractors and other vehicles, but we use this term the most with cars. But what happens is the value of the new car or the new to you car, the used car, is much higher than that of your vehicle, but your vehicle still has a value. So what you can do is trade in your vehicle to lessen the amount of cash you need to pay.
So that car would be a trade-in or we accept trade-ins.
Yes.
Something like that.
You'll see signs like that, or you'll see it on advertisements all the time. We accept trade-ins.
Yeah.
So it's very common to see in terms of the sales of vehicles here.
Yeah.
If the new vehicle you're about to purchase is $30,000 and your vehicle is currently valued at $8,000, then you can trade it in, a phrasal verb, in order to only have to pay $22,000 for the new vehicle.
Yep.
Similar but entirely different meaning is trade-off.
Yes, a trade-off is where there is a pro and a con of some kind of purchase.
And that in-between is called the trade-off.
Yeah, so like if you say, this is a really good product, but the trade-off for it to be really good product is that the price is really high. Or this product runs really fast, but it doesn't last very long. And this is called a trade-off when you have to compare kind of apples to oranges.
Yeah, and we use this a lot with cars too. If you're buying a used vehicle, you might say, wow, I got this at a great deal. Like, I got this at a great price. And somebody might say, well, what was the trade-off? And you might have to say, well, I had to pay $2,000 over market value. Or maybe you could say, well, I have to do some work on the transmission.
Or I have to buy new tires for it. Something like that.
There's always going to be some kind of trade-off when you're making large purchases.
Another one is rip-off. That was a rip-off, meaning that when you bought something and maybe it was a really good price, but when it actually got to you and you tried it out or you tried to use it, didn't work as well as you thought it would, and so that money that you just spent was wasted. So it is a rip-off.
Right. You basically feel like you're cheated. If you say something is a rip-off, you feel cheated.
Yeah, it's a strong word. So the next section deals with sale adjectives. So the idea here is that when you have a sales event, there's lots of different ways that we use these words to describe that sales event.
Since marketing is so aggressive, they choose lots of different words and they try to use different adjectives in order to sound more amazing.
Yeah.
Well, adjectives like great and awesome and huge have been well overused and well worn out over the years, so we become actually tone deaf to it. When I hear huge sale downtown, I don't think that's going to be interesting because it's like everybody uses huge. Yeah. So what happens is they've taken phrasal verbs, shoved them together and made a compound noun or compound adjective, and here's a list of the common ones you'll hear now. These are actually so common that they're starting to become tone deaf, but you're going to see them all over. And honestly, if you see them without having heard that this is a phrasal verb adjective, then you're going to be like, what does that mean? It's almost idiomatic.
English is jacked up. So the first one is rollout, like a rollout sale.
Yeah, where you could expect to see rollback prices, I'm assuming. A rollout sale, it's kind of got the image of rolling out a red carpet.
Right.
Like, it's just this idea of, like, it's this big, we're bringing out all the things, like, it's going to be exciting and everything's just going to roll out and be awesome. Yeah. It's also this idea we want it all gone.
Yeah, a lot of these are, we want them all gone.
Yeah, so with car sales, you could do the next year's cars. They'll have like a rollout event where they're just bringing out the new vehicles to showcase for the first time. Maybe they have a special offer for the first sales of the year, right? Similar to rollout, but you can't really use it for new merchandise, is a move-out sale. And this kind of means the store is closing. Yeah. And along the similar lines is a closeout sale, which, because the business is closing its doors or it's moving to a different place, the idea is they don't want to take all the stuff. Yeah. So the idea here when they say this is that it's going to be really good deals. Like, we're not playing with prices. We're not manipulating the prices and playing a game. It's going to be a loss to us if this stays here, so we just want it gone. Yeah. So the idea is maybe 90% off. Yeah. So closeout is also another one of those terms where it means we're closing our doors and we don't want anything else in the building when we leave. Please take our stuff. Move out, clear out, and closeout sales, different from those, is going to be the blackout sale or the blowout sale. These two are very different. And interestingly, I have no idea what blackout sale means. I just know that it's supposed to be, I think it's a reference to Black Friday, maybe. Or like, this sale is so good, you're going to black out. I don't know what the marketer's intention is, but we hear it all the time. Yeah. So I don't know what the meaning is supposed to be. But just so you know, it means a really good sale. Yeah. Or they want you to think it's a really good sale. I don't know. And blowout is a much more picture-esque image of that. It's going to blow your mind. Yeah, blow your mind. It's going to blow out the doors because it's just going to be so much craziness happening. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people coming in here, so it's just going to blow out. Yeah.
So another way that you're going to try to get rid of some of these things that you want to sell is you can have a sell-off event. So this happens a lot with estates or with
an
auction. So the idea is you're wanting them gone, and so
Yeah.
you sell off these items that maybe go with the house or go with this set, and so
Yeah.
you sell them off.
The idea is the owner died and these items will not be inherited, or
Yeah.
they need to be sold off in order to make liquid cash to pay off that person's debts.
Right.
It could also be just people just trying to really downsize. Maybe they
Yeah.
had a lot and then they have a big sell-off because they don't want the items. The idea here is they're practically giving them away.
Yeah.
But the idea is too, you're buying more from a bank or an individual or a small group or a family, not a big franchise company.
Right, yeah. No, companies wouldn't really want to use this idea just because it has the idea that if you don't buy them, I'm going to throw them away.
We have another word to describe sales, and that is to kick off. We say a big kickoff or a kickoff sale. So you can have a large discount on the first day in order to kick off a sales week.
Yeah.
Or you can have like a kickoff party or a kickoff prize with lots of giveaways for the customers that come in on the first day. But the idea is it's a kickoff event.
Yeah. So it's the start of an event.
It's very excited, lots of energy.
And the last one that we have for you guys today is a cutoff date.
All good things must come to an end.
Including sales. So a lot of times the sales that we've been talking about today, these blackout sales, these blowout sales, all of these have a date. Sooner or later, they have to have all the stuff out of the shop. So if you don't buy it until that date, like after that date, it's gone.
Yeah.
So,
after the cutoff, you can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
But you will hear Americans say it just like I did there. After the cutoff, you can't apply anymore. The discounts no longer apply.
Yeah.
So it's important, we mean cut off date, but
Right.
it happens in this context so often that we've started cutting off the noun. See what I did there? So that's something that is important. We do it all the time in informal language, where what happens with these phrasal verbs, if we start dropping the nouns that always follow them and we make the phrasal verb become a noun. Because of that, you will notice that all the wonderful editing Josh has done on this video, lots of these have a hyphen, some of them are two words, some of them are one word, and we pronounce them the exact same way.
Yep.
English is a mess. It is a constantly evolving language, and phrasal verbs are just like at the cusp of that change all the time, because phrasal verbs are always changing and prepositions are very fluid. And when we tend to use some of these phrasals in the same context over and over and over again, what happens is we start to shove them together.
Yeah.
But what happens is some are open compounds, some are closed compounds, some are hyphenated compounds, and really sometimes they have two or three forms. Like inkwell, for example, is correct in all three forms. The best thing you can do with these is look them up in the dictionary and just try to remember them, honestly. But at least pronunciation-wise, they're all the same.
Praise the Lord. All right, so guys, those are our nouns and adjectives from phrasal verbs related to shopping. So try to find these words the next time you go shopping.
Yep. All right, that's it for today, guys. Make sure you check back for part 2 later this week, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
That's called an upsale or an upsell.
That's all. Yeah, that's good. Another noun is buyback.
A buyback.
A buyback. Gosh.
You shouldn't have taken a nap.
No, I should not have taken a nap. I am going to stop it, though, because who knows how long it's going to go.
Surely not long. There it goes.
Wow. That was lame.
You don't have 2 videos now. You're
That's
welcome. True. Okay.
You normally, in order to do this, that...
Oh my God. Prices tend to get slowly jacked up for the holiday season. So.
Yeah, that's how they do it in a lot of sales, is that... Flies. I knew I should have closed... It's out! Oh my
Today
word.
at Wide Ball Friends English.
Oh, we are chasing flies and dodging car alarms.